So one of my biggest struggles being a part of this community is managing my money in a way where I can afford both Veve NFTs and the Omi token. So that being said, I'd like to introduce you all to the first official partner of this channel, UThrive. UThrive is an app that allows you to optimize your credit card use to maximize profits. On average, most people using credit cards are missing out on at least $500 a year. You don't have to pay for anything at all. Before you make any purchase you normally make using your credit cards, UThrive will analyze your purchase in seconds and tell you which of your credit cards will give you the highest cash back and rewards, saving you hundreds of dollars a year. Doesn't matter if you're grocery shopping, getting gas, or planning a trip. Anytime you spend money, save money with UThrive. Yo, what is going on, y'all? I'm Cavell Anderson, and we're back with another Veve and Ecomi video. In this one, I actually want to address a lot of the questions in my last video. It's like a lot of people, it seems like, don't actually understand what a lot of this actually takes to do. They think that because a company have a big bank account or something like that, that they can just easily do what Veve has done, when money isn't even the biggest problem here. This is why Veve isn't money hungry. This is why they haven't been making partners and taking all this money people have been trying to throw at them. They've been shutting down these offers because this is not a problem that money can solve. Like, one thing that you all have to understand when it comes down to the blockchain, this whole space, building out metaverses and stuff like that, is all of this has never been done before. Yes, Fortnite is one of the closer things to a metaverse, but it's a game. That's what it is. It's not built on NFT technology. And with all the money in the world, with all that money, if you wanted to just convert everything over to NFTs, you really wanted to convert your game over to a blockchain, who are you going to hire to do it properly? Like, who's going to plan it? Who's going to do all of this? Because it's not like there's an established way. Like, so let's say, okay, boom, you have this framework called Drupal. You have this, or actually, you have this framework called Drupal. And then you have WordPress. Let's say your website is built using Drupal and you want to go over to WordPress. That has been done for the last decade. Like, it's somebody who can do that. It's somebody who specializes in doing that, because they have been using Drupal and they have been using WordPress and making your Drupal website a WordPress website. But even that would take a lot of time, by the way. That's going to take time, especially to get that same functionality so the end user feels like nothing has changed. Like, the end user should feel like nothing has changed on a website. So that's still going to take a lot of time to do. And that's just a website. That's easier. That's easier, and that could still take months. So when you're talking about taking one of the most massive games in the world and trying to convert that over to NFTs, it's crazy to think that just because a company has billions of dollars, that like, who they gonna buy? This is the thing about working in a space with no experts. They're either already working for companies with billions of dollars, or they're not an expert and they're here scamming people. Like, there's not many people to hire. There's not many people to buy. That's what Veve is struggling at. Now, will Fortnite be able to get some good potential people? Yeah, they can get some good potential people, but at the end of the day, they're going to run into unforeseen issues as well. And this is not stuff that money can just fix, because then they would have to go to companies like Veve and companies who are figuring it out to try to figure out what's going wrong with what they're doing. This space has no experts. This space does not have, you can't buy your way out of this stuff. I mean, you could pay your people to learn about the blockchain, or you could pay them to get very, very good at it, but still, they're still going to be learning. And then even if they're now just learning this new technology, they're not going to know what they don't know. So what you got to understand is these are not problems that money can solve. So Ben's fearful of Fortnite's money because they already have a metaverse built out. You realize once this goes on a blockchain, they would have to really convert everything over to the blockchain, because let's say that they do allow you to sell skins and things like that, or they do put the skins on a blockchain. That's not the agreement that they have with these licensors either. And this is one of the longest parts of Veve's success. You realize Veve had the Disney deal in 2018. They started negotiations for that deal with paperwork and stuff on the table in 2018. We just saw Disney, what, last year? We just saw Disney last year. Or was it this year? I don't know. Like, time be flying, bro. But we, like, literally between 2021 and 2022, that's how long it took Disney to sign off. We don't know how long. Like, you see Goku, you see like Goku. Let's talk about it. The Dragon Ball Z that we saw on Fortnite. How long were they in talks for that. Fortnite is damn near on its last leg right now. Fortnite is not popping like it once was. So why is it that at the height of Fortnite's career, with Fortnite's reputation, they didn't have all these licenses and IP? This Star Wars, this Dragon Ball Z, all of this, they just got the go-ahead to do this stuff within recent years. And they've been around for a while now. So why wasn't it done sooner? Because they were probably in negotiations for this for the longest amount of time. And you want to know what else? That's not an NFT negotiation. That is not an NFT negotiation. So you may have permission. You may have permission to use these models in your game and for your game, for game use only, but you do not have permission to put these on a blockchain because that's a whole different beast. The reason that these companies are going to Veve for this is because they are a blockchain company who can protect these assets. They literally have a crypto wallet to protect assets. Veve is qualified to know what they're doing. Epic Games is not. And qualification is not money it's not something that money can buy. I mean, unless you hire a team that's already experienced. It's like, if you had to ask me who's the most qualified right now to bring Epic Games over into the blockchain world, it would probably be Illuvium. Illuvium is doing AAA games. Like they're close. They're close to what Epic Games would need. And Illuvium don't even have it all figured out. So let's say you hire Illuvium, you acquire Illuvium. They're still learning too. And they're the best in the game right now. They're the best ones doing it. They have the best product in terms of actually delivering a world. So people are making this seem way easier. Like I understand that you may get intimidated by rich people and success and stuff like that, but these are not the type of problems that money is success. Like a lot of these, like Veve has a lot of money. Like y'all might not understand this, but they have money. Like Ecomi has money. And this is not a space where billions is going to help you. Like, I mean, you can hire more people, so obviously you could, it goes a lot farther to getting the job done faster. But faster for this space, you know how much money has been in Bitcoin? Why did it take over 10 years to build out Bitcoin to where it's at right now? Perfect example. There's a lot of money. There's a trillion, right? There was a trillion at one point in Bitcoin. Look how long it took Bitcoin to build out. This is what you need to think about. This is what you need to realize. It's not status having all these fans and stuff like that. And people talk about all the fans that Fortnite has. A lot of them have went to other games. I used to play Fortnite. Now I barely ever get on. It's just the only thing. Like, it's just, when it comes down to Fortnite, it's like, what else are you going to do? What's the alternative? That's the thing. It's not many games that's just decent these days. So no, there's nothing really to play but Fortnite. With the rise of the blockchain, I suspect that some new I don't even think Epic Games is going to be a player, to be honest. I do not see Fortnite lasting. And that's coming from a gaming perspective. Like, that's just like Fortnite. As soon as Apex Legends came out, I saw how the gaming community shifted over from Fortnite and shifted over to Apex Legends. And if you're not a gamer, you don't even really understand what I'm talking about right now, but you're just looking at it from a numbers perspective. You're looking at it from a numbers thing where it's like, oh, this company has $1 billion, Veve does not. It's not that simple. So it's important to actually understand the spaces that you're trying to understand. Like, so let's read through a couple of comments here. Fortnite can easily partner with IMX or Polygon, and bam, all of their future skins and packs are now on the blockchain. Yeah, like if they have if it's an IP based one, it don't matter who they partner with. If it's IP based, they have to negotiate getting those skins on the blockchain. And yeah, most companies are not going to go for that. Does not matter how much money you have, especially a company that has no history of knowing how to manage NFTs. They have no history in the NFT space at all. So yeah, I mean, they can put their own original stuff on the blockchain, but yeah, what does that mean? That's no threat to Veve because their own original IP doesn't matter. And for all you know, Veve could be the company managing their IP. This is one aspect that you're not thinking about as well. Because the things that I'm saying right now are facts, more than likely they would go through a platform like Veve, because Veve is really the only platform qualified to handle 3D NFT assets the way that they do. So if I had to say what company they would try to go through. I would assume that Fortnite would want to go through a company like Veve. I actually have heard Alfred Khan mention Fortnite before. So that was on, and that was like what, 2020? So just saying. They may not have as much experience in the blockchain as Veve, but they are a massive company with tons of capital and big companies backing them that can be thrown into research and development to create a metaverse and understand the blockchain better. Understanding the blockchain better is not the same thing, because Veve understood, or Ecomi understood the blockchain before the blockchain was even what it is. Like, no one understands the blockchain. Who are you going to go to? Who are you going to talk to? No one actually fully understands this. It's so much stuff still yet to be discovered right now. Like, you can get education up to a certain point, but then after you're educated up to a certain point, you still have to learn skills to build what you want to build out. And then you have to build out what you want to build out. You're going to come across mistakes. You're going to come across things that you didn't think about, and then you're going to have to fix those as well. This process will take years longer than. By the way, people talking about Veve, it takes them so long to do cash out. I saw a comment that said it took Veve so long just to make cash out. Cash out has a lot of regulations and rules behind it, and then there's a lot of different countries involved in that. People really sleep on how hard cash out is to do. And then they not only allowed you to cash out, especially out the gate, they not only allowed you to cash out in from everywhere around the world, well, most places around the world, they also allows you to cash out into crypto. People sleep on how complicated that actually is. And it's actually more complicated than the metaverse, and to an extent, because there's a lot of red tape, and there's a lot of red tape in trying to build a cash out system. There's a lot of rules, there's a lot of regulation. Building a metaverse, I mean, it's just the difficulty comes in the fact that no one has ever done it. That's what's difficult about it. But you can build and do whatever you want to do. It's just a thing that nobody knows what to do. Like that, no one knows what to do. So that's something that you got to take into consideration. Like, it's not. People think that Veve has been working on this metaverse ever since I've joined the community. Back when I first joined the community, literally Dan was talking about how one of the things that he enjoys most about his job is working on the metaverse. Working on the metaverse, because when he's working on the metaverse, it feels like, and that's one thing people haven't really caught up to. People think that Veve has nothing done for the metaverse. That's probably just something that they will not speak about. They won't speak on. They have been working on the metaverse ever since we have all joined this community. So they're working on this. Now they have the capital to hire another company to do a better job. I don't know why people think that Veve is so far behind just because they won't speak on where they actually are. They let it be known what they want to let it be known, what it makes sense for it to be known. It will not just be, if Fortnite wanted to switch over everything, that it would take years for their license agreements. It would take years to try to negotiate something on the blockchain, if they even go for that with a company like Fortnite. Fortnite's not qualified to do it. And even if they partner with IMX or partner with Immutable or something, or like, it does not matter. Like, the company Fortnite is the ones leading the charge. They're trying to lead the charge here. Fortnite is not. They have no history, no track record, nothing proven. You have a company like Veve who has protected assets for this long. They have an ecosystem where these things fly off shelves like crazy. Like, it does not matter how much money this company has. They don't compare to Veve. The things that matter, especially when you're trying to do business with somebody. I mean, see, it depends on the type of business that you're doing as well. These established businesses, they're used to having money. They're used to seeing money. They're used to talking big numbers. So for me, if I see somebody who's super qualified and I see somebody who just has a ton more money that they're willing to put in, me personally, I'm going with the person who's more qualified, because that's the highest chance of success. And money is something that we can make together because you are more qualified. While this person has more money to throw in, but they don't know what the hell they're doing. So now that we're together, we got to figure out who else to throw money at. It's like, we're not really solving anything when you can just go right with an expert. Now, a lot of beginning business owners would probably choose, if you knew this information, you would probably choose someone with a big bank account, looking and hoping to get more money out of them. But then you still have the same problem that you've always had. Now you need somebody who's qualified. You got more money to throw at the problem, but the problem could be solved if you would have just took the other route. Like Veve solves a lot of problems for businesses, gaming companies, and all of this. Veve solves a lot of these problems out of the gate. Veve is already a very successful company. I think that people don't want to really wrap their head around how far ahead Veve actually is compared to all these companies, even with the big bank accounts. But let's see. But they are a massive company with tons of capital and companies backing them that can all research about. We saw that. They have no issues getting IP. They have Star Wars, Marvel, and now Dragon Ball Z. It took them many years to get those, by the way. Many years. Longer, potentially, than it took Veve, by the way. Potentially longer than it took them to get, than it took Veve to get. So, yeah. They are getting farther ahead than Veve in terms of gamification, that Veve is going to spend a lot of time playing catch up. We don't know that they're going to spend a lot of time playing catch up. That's an assumption, because this is something that they have been working on for the longest. Like, they have been working on this ever since I've joined the community. It's just one of those things that has actually stayed behind the scenes. They don't talk about it much. I think the Veveverse is years away. That's a thought, though. That's not a fact. They say that it's coming this year, and they're very adamant that they're already prepared to release something related to it this year. So, like I said, it's a lot of assumptions going on here. You're probably assuming that Veve is doing it by themselves, and Veve hasn't been partnered with some other company to get this done. It's a lot of assumptions that get made about the Veveverse, because you just can't, because people see the soons and the mays and the jokes and stuff like this that's taken a long time. Most of this stuff is stuff that was not in their plans. This metaverse has been in their plans since like 2018. Like, this metaverse has been in the plan for the longest. This metaverse has been under work for the longest. So yeah, when something's not planned and then it's a regulated space, now you have to, this is the thing here. For cash out, Veve needed research and development. This is the difference between knowing how to do something and then needing research and development. Because what they have done, because of what Veve is doing right now, it's regulation. They had to learn the regulations. They had to learn the rules. They had to learn, a lot of stuff just to make this cash out, because it was not originally part of what they wanted to do. So that's what research and development gets you. It could be a hell of a lot quicker, something that's been on the plan since day one. Just saying. I think Veve is years away. Veve is still a small company, and it took them a year to get cash out enabled. Yeah, that right there. This was the comment. And I know that was never part of the original plan and stuff. That takes time. But a year for cash out to be enabled tells me metaverse will take a long time for them. Like, yeah, that's the wrong conclusion to draw. That doesn't even make sense. It's different regulations. It's different problems. And Veve has been working on the metaverse. They was never even planning on cash out, so they wasn't working on that. And also, most people who have cash out, they don't have it in as many countries as Veve. And they don't have it in crypto as well, even though that some problems arose with that. But yeah, I mean, these are not good conclusions to draw. Veve is going to have to bring something new to the table. Otherwise, if they just copy and clone gamification, if they just copy and clone Fortnite, that's not going to be enough to bring people over from Fortnite to the Veveverse. I do enjoy Veve, and there's so much fun, and there's so much for them to do. But if I were them, I would start talking more about gamification and where it's all headed as more competition for Veve comes up. I mean, that would be the worst time for Veve to start talking about it. So people who already have a gamification ecosystem can start copying them. Veve, what Veve has that Fortnite does not have is the ability to use these IP on the blockchain. Those are deals that's going to take years. You think that just because they have just because Fortnite has Naruto, just because they have Dragon Ball Z and Star Wars, that means that they can just throw it on the blockchain? No. They could have all their NFTs on the blockchain, but these companies would still deny them ability to use that on the blockchain, or they wouldn't have permission. Like, no, it's not just easy. Like, oh, they already have the IP. That means, like, look at Quid. Quid has been talking about making their assets NFTs for how long? We still ain't saw an NFT yet. And Quid came around early on when we saw it, when we first came into Veve. Quid came around trying to get some attention, talking about, oh, we're going on the blockchain too. They ain't made no noise on the blockchain. Still. And Quid is a company who actually has 3D models and stuff similar to Veve. Not similar in quality, but they have the 3D models and stuff and a lot of these big brands. Yet they can't just make it all NFTs the way that they said they were going to do. You have to think a little bit more. You have to think a little bit more about some of the stuff. Like, think it through, because don't just think big bank accounts solve everything. I don't think they're very much on the secondary market where they weren't limited, make far too much with the V-Buck system. V-Buck system, that's a huge point. That's a huge point, though. Like the fact that people will keep buying these skins over and over. But I don't know. Like at the same time, if they actually understand the blockchain, they could get paid over and over. Like even without the V-Buck system, they could get paid over and over. And V-Bucks could just be their gems, just like Veve. Like that's really what it could be. V-Bucks could be their gems, just like Veve. So I mean, it wouldn't be too crazy of a change. And then they would be making constant money. Like people buy a skin one time. People buy these skins one time. Like having a market just like Veve would benefit any company, because now instead of just buying the skins one time, you're buying them and then people are buying them off you, and it's recycled time and time again. People are constantly spending money buying and selling, so you're making money hand over fist. Fortnite has utility, the game itself. Yeah, it's great if owning a Marvel Mighties gets you $1 off a movie ticket, but the point of these NFTs is to use them. When I always talk about the utility, I always bring it into the physical world aspect, but these are going to have a lot of stuff to do in the metaverse. Like most of these is going to have games associated with it and stuff in the metaverse. Fortnite has the user base and the universe already there. No, they don't. Not really, because a universe built not in the blockchain would have to be rebuilt for the blockchain. It would have to, a lot of changes would have to happen, and there's no expert at swapping a community over to the blockchain. There's nobody that they could hire to tell them, yo, okay, this is how you take this entire ecosystem and make it good on the blockchain. So look at and honestly, their massive user base is going to be a problem, because what if it takes more resources to be on the blockchain? What if it takes more resources to be on the blockchain? What if the game doesn't run as smoothly even once you convert it over? What if the amount of power or space or whatever you have to run Fortnite right now, you have to double, triple it, moving it over to the blockchain, because the blockchain isn't as good yet as what they were previously using. That, like, there's a lot of stuff. It's untested, and then they have millions and millions of users. That's not something they can't just flip a switch and, hey, we're on the blockchain, and it feels like they have a bunch of gamers. They can't just flip a switch and then they're on the blockchain. This is not something they can do. And then they're going to have to slowly test out every single thing, every feature, and make sure the blockchain hasn't broken anything or hasn't caused anything unintended, while still managing a fan base of millions of users. That's not easy. It does not matter. That's not easy when there's no experts. Like, it don't matter how much money you have. He said, so they don't need marketing because they're well known, so they can figure out the NFT space. Which company would you rather go to if you're a major brand? Yeah, I just basically broke down why figuring out the NFT space isn't as easy as it's easy to say. It's very much more hard to do, because no one has it figured out. So, what expert do you hire? Because all the experts are working on their own stuff or working for somebody else already. A lot of these licenses aren't exclusive either. These licenses are exclusive for what Veve wants to do. So thinking of DC, like you go to DC Comics and you see the fact that they have their stuff everywhere else, but still on Veve, the 3D statues, like this is the only place that we've seen 3D statues yet. So Veve, that's what they said their exclusivity was. Like, people think that exclusive means, oh, we're only going to see Disney on Veve. We're only going to see these brands on Veve. But exclusivity means that Veve is the only one with access to these assets, and they're the only ones with these type of assets, and they're the only ones who can do with these assets what they want to do with these assets. So that's very important as well, like to understand what exclusivity actually means. It doesn't mean that a company is going to only be with Veve. It means that the company will only allow Veve to do what Veve is going to do with these, which means that the metaverse and all of this stuff that's been in the plans, this was more than likely negotiated with these companies up front, because this has always been the plan for Veve. So just want to point that out. That they are exclusive in the ways that matter. People preach this, oh, they're not exclusive thing. They have no idea what that agreement says, because was the whole point of them. The whole point of them getting into this space was to add gamification, to have the experience with these NFTs. Why would they not negotiate their whole business model? People get lost in the fact that Veve gets a lot of sales and stuff like that and makes people a lot of money. Like, people get lost in these details that don't matter as much. Veve has not started to do their whole point of existing. Veve is a company about the experience. It's all about the experience, the AR features, the VR, the metaverse. This is Veve's core business. And like what are you doing with your NFTs? That's what Veve is about. And they haven't even started to show what they're planning to do in that area. So yeah, the bottom line is Veve has to have a use case for these collectibles beyond what they currently have in AR, or they're going to get passed up and left behind. By who? No one else has a better plan. No one else has better execution because no one's an expert in this space. Like these fears of Veve getting left behind by who? They're so far ahead of everybody. So who's gonna leave them behind? FA on the blockchain won't matter at that point. I mean, to collectors it always will. To collectors, first appearance matters. To collectors, first appearance matters. I don't know if it's blockchain that matters, or I don't know if it's platform. But first appearance is going to matter to collectors. And keep in mind that Veve has a collector's audience, or they're going for a collector's audience. But also on the metaverse side, on the gamification side, Veve is still farther ahead than anybody else. So it's important, man. Let me see. Another thing that doesn't make sense is that most gaming companies probably don't even know who Veve is. Y'all are paranoid. By the way, if the company that runs Fortnite wanted to, I'm sure it's not impossible. Fortnite grossed $5.8 billion in revenue in 2021, surpassing its previous annual record of $5.4 billion in 2018. I think you grossly underestimate what other companies can do if they decide to. Not really. I just understand what it takes to do what they're trying to, and I understand that it's not a problem that money can solve. This is not something that they can buy their way out of. Like what are they going to do? Try to spend money and somebody's just overnight going to become educated on one of the. How long has the world been around? How long has the world been around, and how long did it take the blockchain to start existing? How long did it take? How long was the blockchain around, and how long did it take NFTs to exist? Like this stuff, that money cannot solve these problems. Money cannot, like, people are going to have to still research. They're going to have to learn. They're going to have to improve. They're going to have to get better. And Fortnite is just now starting to take the steps to being educated. They're being educated on something that this company was educated about before it even existed. It's like, yeah. Anyway, but they are making an insane amount right now. So why would they even care about Veve in the first place? People need to stop scaring themselves. They would care about Veve because of the success of Veve on the blockchain and because of how Veve has been able to do what it's done. Like Fortnite, the reason that they're trying to jump over into the blockchain world is because you make way more money in the blockchain. Like there's way more money to be made in the blockchain. So this is why Veve would be a good company to come after. It's not crazy, and honestly, if they're not going to come after Veve, I think they'll probably be working with Veve, to be honest with you. But that's just my thoughts. I don't think a lot of these companies are going to try to make their own NFTs. If anything, I think that they're just going to try to put some of their stuff on a platform like Veve. And yeah. So yeah, let me know what you all think in the comment section down below. This is just some of my thoughts and some of my points towards what's being talked about. Let me know what y'all think, man. Be sure to drop that thumbs up, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and I will catch you all on the next one. Peace out, fam.